Hello everyone, my name is Simon and I would like to welcome you to today's webinar brought to you by IAE Toulouse School of Management. Today's webinar is titled Academic Excellence, Professional Relevance, Get a Master in Finance in Toulouse. During today's webinar, you will learn what career paths exist for the Master in Finance graduates, what is unique to the Master in Finance in Toulouse, how the actual program is structured, how to apply and how applications are screened, and that their program is grounded on academic excellence and partnerships with the financial industry. And today we have joining us a lovely panel of four. We have three program directors, Christoph, Catherine, and Milo. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, so I'm Christoph Bizier, the program director for the Master in Finance, plus the program director for the second year in Finance and Information Technology.
Hello, I'm Catherine Kazamata. I'm the program director for the second year track in corporate finance for the Master in Finance.
Hi, I'm Milo Bianchi. I'm the program director for the financial market and risk management.
Thank you very much, guys. And also we have a key person joining to our far left side is a current student, and her name is Aurélie Prepomo. Welcome to you as well, Aurélie.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. I am Aurélie. I am currently a student in the Master's FIRE, so Financial Market and Risk Evaluation, and I hope I can share with you guys my experience.
Thank you very much to all four for taking the time to present today. And having said that, I'm sure that the audience that has joined today's live session would actually prefer to hear more from you. So let's go to your presentation and pass the control on to you. And the floor should be all yours, guys.
Okay, thank you. So the first question I'm going to answer is where are we located, because that's an important one. So we are here in Toulouse University, which is a very old university in France. We have more than 20,000 students, and we cover three main training fields: law, economics, and management. We are located in the heart of Toulouse, southwest of France. It's called the Pink City because all the buildings are made of bricks. And actually, Toulouse is a very attractive city for students. It is ranked the second best student town in France by magazine Étudiant. It is a vibrant city with a vibrant nightlife. I guess Aurélie will agree with me, right? We have in Toulouse Capital University around 18% of international students, but it's more than that for the Master in Finance because it's more international. For instance, in the Master 1, we have more than half of the students as international students. So what is the Master in Finance? First of all, it's a two-year program with Master 1 and Master 2. It is taught entirely in English, so you don't have to speak French. It is organized at ECTS Toulouse School of Management, but it's a partnership between the School of Management and the Toulouse School of Economics, TSE, which means that it is jointly taught by ECTS and TSE professors, and also it's a joint program offered to econ and management students. Okay, so this is the structure of the program. So you have 2 years, so Master 1 and Master 2. You can follow either a classical finance program by following the Master 1 Finance and then Master 2. You have 4 tracks here. But since it's a partnership with TSE, you can also start your Master with the Master 1 of TSE, the School of Economics, and then follow in a Master 2 in Finance. As you can see, you have 4 tracks. 3 tracks are professional oriented. So Master 2 in Corporate Finance, Master 2 in Financial Markets and Risk Evaluation, and Master 2 in Finance and Information Technology. Plus, we have another track, which is a Master of Science in Finance, and we go there if you want to start a PhD in Finance. Okay? But whatever track you choose, you will get at the end the Master in Finance from Toulouse University. Okay, so what about careers after the Master in Finance? So I'm going to turn to Catherine to present the careers in corporate finance, but just for a start, let me say that even if you choose a particular track, you may find a job in a job listed in another track because we have a kind of large core courses. So the choice that you're going to make with respect to the track is not that important. But let me turn to Catherine for the job in corporate finance.
Thank you, Christophe. So most of the time when you finish the Master in Finance, you enter a career in finance. We have a few exceptions, I should say, but in general, our students are really fond of finance and they continue in finance. So if during the second year you choose a specialization in corporate finance, what should you expect? So what type of jobs do our students have? Well, in general, either you work for a non-financial company or for a financial company. So if you work for a non-financial company, for instance, you can be a financial controller, cost controller, or a cash manager. If you work for a bank, for instance, you can be a credit analyst or a business account manager when you deal with companies which have financing needs. You can also work for investment funds. For instance, you can be a private equity fund manager. And last, you can also work closer to financial markets in investment banks or securities firms by being, for instance, a financial analyst or by working for underwriters, which help firms to issue equity or to go for an IPO. So what about FIRE?
Thank you. So for FIRE, it's one of the mostly either investment banks or asset manager. And so if you're at an investment banking, you would design products and sell them. If you are an asset management, you would help people make money and manage that risk. So you would be a portfolio manager, a risk manager, and that's it.
Okay, so about finance and information technology. So here you have a list of possible jobs like finance functional consultant, business analyst, BI, finance specialist, or project manager. Those are IT-intensive finance jobs, but the point is that it's not for computer scientists or for software engineers. This is really for finance people doing some IT stuff, and actually you will be financial professionals with additional skills in IT. Okay, so it's more about advising and consulting on IT-intensive finance projects. About the Master of Science in Finance, it's mainly to do research as a professor, for instance, in a university or a business school. So actually, we are professors. This is just like what we do. But also, you can switch from the Master of Science in Finance to an industry-oriented career. Why is that? Because we will have a look at the program for the Master of Science in Finance, and you will see some practical courses, because we want to make sure that even if you don't want to start a PhD, you will hopefully find a job in the industry. We will see that together later. All right, so what about our placement statistics? Well, they are pretty good, maybe because the master exists since 12 years now, so we have time to build a reputation. Okay, so 50% find a job right after their 6 months internship. Even during, sometimes, you're right, Catherine. So in most cases, actually, you end up your internship and you start working right in the same company. 93% find a job in less than 6 months, and 100% in less than a year. So no unemployment. The average net wage is pretty good compared to the wages in France. So it's something like 2,500 euros net per month. and 20% have a job abroad, either in Europe or elsewhere. All right, so good news now. What about tuition? Well, as you may know, French universities are heavily subsidized, which means that the tuition fees per year will be something like 500 euros, so it's kind of cheap. Very competitive, I would say. Plus, for an additional 500 euros per year or so, you will have some placement-oriented services like personal coaching, access to a database of internship and job offers, and annual placement program. As an example, we have a trip to London. We organize this trip where students have the opportunity to visit financial companies. So this is a picture of the 2016 students coming back from London. They visited the BNP Paribas, Bloomberg, some IT specialist firms. And the guy at the bottom is not a student, he is a professor actually. Right. Okay, or you may enjoy a field trip to the Pyrénées, for instance. Pyrénées are very close to Toulouse, something like 1 hour and a half by car. So this is the flyout for the next trip in 2016. 2017, sorry. So may I translate ski fête and party fête? I'm afraid it's not possible. This is ski, party, and party fête, which is a meal with potatoes and cheese, something like that. Quite a light meal. Okay, so let me turn to Catherine to give more information about the Master 1 in Finance, and then the Master 2.
Thank you, Christophe, for the more serious stuff. So, in between two classes left, of course, you will attend courses. So, this is the list, this is the program of the courses of the first year of the Master in Finance. So, as you can see, there are no electives for this first year, so all the students follow the same courses. So there's this long list. Let me explain you a bit how we design the program. You have first a block of courses which are dedicated to the study of finance. So you will learn all the basic principles and institutional environment of various fields of finance. That's why you have courses on financial market and asset pricing, corporate finance, of course, financial controlling, etc. You also have what we call quantitative methods courses, because these are, I would say, not only useful but almost compulsory for a program in finance. Of course, you have mathematics, econometrics, and also several courses of programming and IT for finance. Now, the good thing with these courses is that we mix different pedagogical methods. For the first year, what we want to emphasize is your ability to work together, to work in teams first, because it's very useful for your career afterwards, and also because it helps you learn better. So you will have, of course, traditional lectures, but you will have a lot of homework that you do in groups for your tutorials. You will have also trading games where you will play a fake portfolio management games, and you will also have group projects for which you will choose topics and present at the end of the year. After the courses, you have a compulsory 4-month internship in finance, so that you get the first experience in the field of finance, and you start understanding what kind of job you want to do afterwards. So that's for the first year. Now for the second year, thank you, Christophe. For the second year, you have more choice, as Christophe and Milo have just said. You have the choice between 3 professional tracks. So if you want to be more corporate finance, financial markets, or IT for finance, and you also have a track if you want to be more an academic and go into a PhD program. So for these tracks, you have the same structure. Basically, you have, during the first term, 5 core courses which are common to everyone. So it's nice because even if you choose corporate finance and your best friend chose IT for finance or finance and information technology, thank you, you can attend courses together and work together on projects. And then for the second term, you have more specialized courses where you can really broaden your understanding of the specific specialization that you chose. So on average, you have 15 hours of face-to-face lecture per week, but lots of projects and homework. For the second year, there are even more practical projects and cases, so you work on actual cases, and you work even more in groups. And to have a more practitioner-oriented program, you have also lots of courses taught by practitioners. So let's say it's about 1/3 in volume of the courses. Now, all these courses, they finish early March, and from March on, you start a long internship, which is compulsory also. It's a 6-month internship that you choose in the field of your specialization. Of course, if you're in the Master of Science in Finance, you do not do an internship, but you do a research dissertation. And anyway, you will defend your internship in early September, and it's also an opportunity for us to get some feedback after you went to your internship. Okay? So more details, let's start with corporate finance. So first term, as I said, these are the 4 courses where you are all together, even in the second year. So, you know, it's not surprising. You will cover anything that a student with a diploma in finance should know at the end of his master. So you have a core course in corporate finance, asset pricing, of course, IT for finance, very important for us, financial econometrics. And remember, I think one of the main characteristics of our master is to have this joint program between econ and management. So there's an important class of economics for finance, so that it's not like you learn only the day-to-day practical stuff, but also you have the view of the economic environment and what role is played by financial markets. And for the second term in corporate finance, so you have more specialized courses in finance, like corporate valuation, how to value a firm that is going to perform an IPO. You have courses on financial intermediation and banking, because many of our students end up in banking. Advanced corporate finance is more practical aspects of cash management, corporate risk management, and you also have some more fancy stuff like psychology of finance, because that's one of our specialty in research. So you have courses to explain how people may have psychological biases that make them take strange decisions in finance, and that can create bubbles in the financial market or make you overinvest and have some hubris. So it's also another very original course in the program. And then you have also a course on financial reporting and international financial standards. Okay, so that's for finance, corporate finance.
Okay, let's turn to Milo for fire. Yeah, so for fire, the first term is joint, so it's exactly the same courses. And so we differentiate in the second term. We'll have psychology for finance again, and there the emphasis will be on how investors can make mistakes and how that can create profit opportunity for those who are smarter, or what are the effects on financial market. And then we have very sort of specialized courses on what is going to be the typical job of our students. So financial computing, asset management and trading, derivative, and risk management. So here you really get the tools, the knowledge that you use in your everyday job once you are finished the master.
Okay, so it's going to be shorter for FIT because the term 1 is exactly the same. That's the rule of the game. In the term 2, you have financial reporting, which is shared with corporate finance, and financial computing, which is shared with FIRE. So in financial computing, we're going to have some advanced Excel VBA plus introduction to Python. You have 3 courses which are only for FIT, which are the last 3 ones you get in the slide: financial information system, BI for finance, IT for finance. Mainly, it's about using tools, financial tools, or financial software tools that you find in the financial industry. Mainly, we work on SAP, which is a very important software, business object, ClickView, and some other very useful tools in finance. Okay, just a few words about the Master of Science in Finance. So here, the first part will be about methodology, like organizational theory, econometrics, so it's more about how to do research, and then you will get a set of specialization courses. Some of these specialization courses will be pretty practical because, as I told you, we want to make sure that if you want to go back to the industry, you will find a job there. So you have a mix of research-oriented topics, courses, plus some more practical ones. Okay, so I'm going to turn to Milo to talk about some recent internships that we have in the master, just to show you a few examples of what you can do during your internship.
Right. So after the courses, you will start your internship, and here we have a list which is just a subset of the recent internships that we have. Yeah, these are all last year internships, so it's already impressive the number of and diversity of companies that you can see there. So it really depends on your background, the master that you're doing, but also on your attitude, what you would like to do. This is the best way to bridge the master with your next job. And you see that there's a lot of choices, from non-financial companies which are based in Toulouse, like Airbus or Airplane and Pub, to commercial banks which are mostly in France, like General, and asset management companies which are based either in France or in London or in Luxembourg, like Amundi, ING, HSBC, and investment banks. Again, you can stay in France. Many people go to London or to go to, there are Chinese companies, there are Vietnam companies. You can get jobs in private equity, M&A, audit, and here you see the big names like Deloitte. You see IT consulting firms like P&G, Capgemini, and you can also see international organizations. You have internship at the ECTS and the Europe-China Commercial Union. So a very broad offer that we can give you, and we have sort of regular interaction with this company. We almost every year everybody goes to some of these companies, so there will be no problem for you to find one and do what you think is the best for your career. Okay. So the question is now that you've seen what we can offer, what should you do? To enroll, we will soon post online the procedure. You will have time until the end of March to go to our website, eititulous.fr. You will see there is a standard application form with the standard information to be filled in, and then we'll ask you to do an online interview so that we get to know you better, and we get to see your face and so on. You can apply to the M1 if you have a degree of at least 3 years, and you can apply to an M2 directly if you have a degree of at least 4 years. And if you decide to apply to an M2, we will ask you to rank what is your preferred track between FIRE, corporate finance, and FIT. And then we will look at all the application and see what is the best fit for us.
Of course, you can also run the Master of Science in Finance.
Sure.
4 choices to choose from. Okay. Now,
So what are we looking for? The type of people that we have recruited so far and that we are looking for are people with excellent academic background. They are interested in finance, with career in finance, and if they have any experience in finance already, that plus, like internship or a summer job, and also people who are nice, but social skills and this part. So we have so far, we are looking for people who are smart, cool, and ready to get training for a career in finance.
Right. So if you need more information, you have several ways to be in touch with us. First, you can ask some more administrative questions to our administrative officer. You have two email addresses that you can use. So, of course, you're going to use master1.finance@iae-toulouse.fr for the first year. And if you have a question for the second year, then you use the second address there. You can also be in touch directly with the director, with us, so with Catherine, Milo, myself, and Fanny Leclerc, who is the program director for the Master of Science in Finance. You have a website, so some pages on the website to give you more details about the program, the content, the syllabus, and so forth. Plus, if you are around Toulouse during February 25th, 2016, then we have an open we have an open door day, so you can join us there face to face if you want to. Okay, so we hope to see you in Toulouse soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christophe, Catherine, Milo, and Aurélie, I presume that is my cue to take over for the Q&A. Allow me to go out of full screen so that our audience members, especially those that missed the introduction, is to let them know that you guys can now submit your questions through the Q&A panel, which you can now find on the right side. Simply expanding it and typing in your questions. And as you'll see, today's presenters will be here at your disposal. I'm guessing it might be good to kick off with Hikmat. I'm guessing Hikmat is actually already interested in applying, as his question is, when does the application period open?
The application period.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to answer, or it starts in February, and you have until end of March to apply, and you can do all that online. So on the ECTS website, which is mentioned in the last slide, or that you have here, you have direct access to the online application platform. And then you just follow what is asked, and you fill in everything, and you will receive a link for the online interview. It is usually very clear. But if you need any details, just send an email, and we'll be very happy to help you with the application.
Thank you very much. Now let's see. Kumar is asking, what ranking does the IAE have in the world of finance?
That's a good question. So if you go back to the Shanghai ranking, which is well known, and if you pick up Toulouse, especially for econ and management, we are ranked in the first 100.
Thank you very much. And then we have a few specific questions. We can start off with Judith saying hello. Her name is Judith, and she's a third-year student in economics and at Monash University in South Africa. And the question is, what are the requirements for a student from South Africa in order to apply for the Master in Corporate Finance? And she's asking if she can apply now for the January semester. So any specific requirements for students from South Africa who's interested in applying for the Master in Corporate program in Corporate Finance and would like to apply for the January semester, if that's possible?
So there's only one session per year. So if you apply now, between February and March, we start the Master in September. So we have only one session per year. So there's no January session if you want. So you apply now for the full year, which starts next September. Okay, she's a third-year student. She will start the M1 next year after applying between February and March.
Thank you, Catherine. And the next question is from Camilo through the chat panel. I believe it's a good one for a broader audience, actually, saying that nowadays most of the jobs are being threatened by new technologies. Do you think that the jobs in finance are also at risk? And which are your strategies to prevent this?
Yeah, to prevent this, you have to know your IT. That's really the word you have to keep in mind. So it's very important that you get some grasp of the current technology, and we do that. Of course, we don't only do that for the FIT students, Finance and Information Technology. We have some course on IT on every track, because we know that if you do corporate, if you do financial market, if you do research, you have to know your IT. So it's a very important topic in this master. You have some classes, especially on programming and some other stuff that we know that you are going to need that in your job. So that's really an important topic in this master. And so we have a lab, actually. We have a lab which is dedicated to the students in the master. So we have full access to computers to do practical things with modern software. So it's really something that we care about.
Thank you, Christophe. Of course.
Just to say that we are very aware of these new technologies and that we try to anticipate them. In our research, we are also oriented towards new technologies. So, for instance, we have started a research program on the blockchain, and the idea is that if we are at the frontier of research in these fields, we can also use that for training, and so our students will be trained to these new technologies.
Yeah, and to our experience, the students we typically get our master, they are very high skilled, and so for them being able to use IT is really a plus, and it's not that a computer can do what they can do. So there's not direct risk that the type of job that you can get after the master will be just replaced by computer.
Thank you very much. And then I see we have a few questions regarding eligibility, especially the question here that's sort of repeating with a few attendees would be, if they don't have the appropriate educational background, for instance, in finance or economics, would they still be eligible to apply?
Yes, sure. I mean, you're not supposed to know a lot of finance when you start the Master 1 in Finance. We need that you know the basics concept of economics mainly, but even if you have, for instance, an engineering degree, you can apply for the Master 1 in Finance because you will learn finance in the Master. So we don't really require that you have that you know a lot of finance before entering the Master, but you have to do some math courses, statistics, some more quantitative oriented courses before. It's a requirement because this master has a lot of quantitative oriented classes, so you have to be able to do some math, some stats, but well, it's good to know a bit of finance before, but it's not a strong requirement.
I should add that we are used to welcome engineer students. We have a double degree program with an engineer school, and students that enter the first year of the master, they know nothing about finance, nothing about econ, and they do really well at the end. I should say it's sort of a self-contained 2-year program. But of course, as Milo said initially on the ideal candidate, you need to have a genuine interest in finance. I mean, the common denominator of all of our students is that they want to learn about finance, and they are highly motivated by this, and we are also highly motivated by teaching finance.
Thank you very much once again. And actually, before addressing the next questions that are regarding GMAT, allow me to open a poll, as we also have 4 short questions for our audience members. So I've just opened the poll, and we would like to know if some of you are actually already interested in applying to the master, perhaps letting us know why yes, why no, or why maybe. And then in the second year, what would be your preferred track amongst the corporate finance, financial markets, and risk evaluations, and finance and information technology, perhaps? And then the last question being, how do you see yourselves in 5 years? Feel free to give us some feedback. Just make sure that once you answer the poll, to click on the submit button, bottom right-hand corner of that panel on the right side. Thank you very much, guys, for participating. And now returning back, having said that we have quite a lot of GRE and then GMAT related questions. Sort of the question would be if it's a must to have the GRE, I see, and if they can still apply if it's not sufficient, actually, would be the question from a few of the attendees.
Yes, of course you can apply. You don't require a GRE or GMAT, but if you have one, you can put it into your application. We take a look at your overall application, looking at your grades, at what you did before, and so on and so forth. But if you have one, you can, of course, insert it in your application.
No. That's for the GRE. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think a good question here would also be, should they apply for Masters 1 before they can apply for Masters 2?
It depends. I should say it depends on your previous degree. If you have only a 3-year degree, then you will be only considered for the first year of the master in finance. If you have a 4-year degree, but you're not so sure that it will be considered a 4-year degree first, then I suggest that you apply to both years. You can do that perfectly, and the committee will review your application and say whether you're better for the first year or the second year. So if you have any doubt, you apply for the 2 years, and then we see what's best for you, what gives you the best chances to succeed in the program.
Thank you very much. We have one follow-up from Nico saying that in regards to eligibility, what do you understand by excellent academic background? Asking if there's a threshold in terms of a specific mark they would need to have.
We look at academic background, motivation and interest in finance, past experience, and it's a mix of all of that. Well, more technically, we give you a grade on each of these aspects, and then we do an average. So if you have a good academic background, but like not the super, you're not in the top 5%, but you are a strong student, and you have a very interesting experience in finance, then one can compensate the other, of course. But just you have to remember that it's a demanding master with quantitative methods, and so you will need to work a lot. Already maybe you will get after that also. And so we need to make sure that you will succeed in the program. Already, can you maybe add something on the workload or?
Yeah, from my experience, you need to work a lot from the start of the year, because otherwise the company is behind. And you also, you have help from the professors; they are always available. And also, since you interact with the different tracks, you have group projects, so it's kind of a balanced experience because you could have knowledge about something, and it's kind of compensated by the knowledge of others when you work in group projects. So you could be less quantitative, but when you interact with others in group projects, it can be compensated, and we help each other in group projects. So this is a good aspect of the program, I think.
Thank you very much, Aurélie, to you as well. And then we have a question regarding internships, if they are paid.
They are what?
If the internships are paid.
Yes, my previous internship was paid, yeah.
And there was a... go ahead.
Sorry, to be more precise, if you do your internship in France, internships are regulated, and there's a minimum wage for students. you can't have this unpaid internship. But most of the time our students have more than the minimum internship wage.
Perhaps a good question would be, which companies usually hire graduates from the Toulouse School of Management?
We need to go back to the slide with the companies.
Allow me to give you control. Should be able to.
What should I do? Close that?
And while you do that, allow me just to check on the progress of the poll.
1 minute.
Go ahead, Christophe, yes.
So here you have a list of the companies that usually take some students in internship, and they are pretty much the same that hire our students because, well, for most of them, it's going to be the same, but for half of them, it's going to be the same. So actually, the list of companies that hire our students is pretty much the same, with some other, of course, but that's some examples that you can.
Yes, these are only the examples from last year and the current year. I mean, the whole list is much longer, but that's just to give an idea of the type of companies that like our students and that hire them.
And regarding internships, we also have an event, the Business Networking Day, where companies come and meet us. We even have interviews during the day, and they take our CVs, and this can be like a really good opportunity to get an internship.
Thank you very much. Related question is from Sebastian. I would like to know if he's able to suggest a company to do the internship. He's working for KPMG in Costa Rica, and his idea would be to do it in an office of KPMG in France, if that would be possible.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
So typically we provide to alumni or to our services list of companies which have offered internship in the past, but we are very much open if you want to, or which are currently offered, yeah, sure, which have open post, but if you want to add some, there's no problem. We will go through it and check that the serious company with a serious job offer for you, and that can be done.
Thank you very much. And now the question from Edwin would be if there's any financial assistance in the form of scholarships.
I believe that we have scholarships on academic results, based on academic results, and also for foreign students, ECTS scholarships. Yeah. So you can find details about this, I believe, on the website. It's very well explained, and you can find information online.
So both university scholarships, depending on your academic achievements, and specifically for foreign students, as already said, the ECTS scholarships, be careful, you have to apply early in advance for this type of scholarships, and they are detailed on the website.
Thank you once again. We have a follow-up question regarding the internship from Maria, saying if it's possible to have it abroad.
Yeah, it's possible, and we really like to have a student going abroad because, yeah, that, of course. Yeah.
Last year I did my internship in London.
Okay, and then we have a good question from Nicola saying what level of English proficiency is required?
Actually, we require C1 is probably the right level to have. B2 will be kind of difficult right at the beginning. You may survive with a B2, but you will have to progress fast. C1 is okay. I mean, because you should bet on C1. That's the right level for this master.
Thank you very much. And staying on the topic of languages, Rachel has a good question. If students are able to learn French alongside, and if you are aware whether Brexit will have any impact on British students coming to study with you. A two-fold question, yes.
So, yes, students can learn French. So, at the university, there are courses of, it's called FLE in French. Français langue étrangère. So, French as a foreign language. So, you can take classes, of course, and also it's an opportunity to meet other non-French speaking students of the university. As Christophe mentioned initially, we have more than 20,000 students at University Toulouse capital. Now, regarding the Brexit, Milo, do you have any view on that?
Yeah, no, they will come. No? We are very positive. We will have an inflow. But we don't know. I mean, really.
Even with the Brexit, there are lots of direct flights from Toulouse to major cities in England. I think there are more than 10 flights from Toulouse to London every day. So we are well connected anyway.
Thank you once again. A good question actually from Christina. How many places are available in the program, and how big are the groups or classes?
So the capacity that we have in the Master 1 is around 60 students and 25 in each Master 2. Okay? So the group size are roughly that, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more, it depends. But roughly you can count on 60 in Master 1 and 25 in each track of Master 2. But probably, well, less in the Master of Science in Finance, because this master is also for other disciplines. So you will have people from marketing, strategy, human resources, and so on and so forth. So maybe for the Master in Finance, Master of Science in Finance is something like 5-6. For the other track, it's 25, and for Master 1, it's 60.
25 times 3.
Yes, times 3. So 75 total.
Thank you very much. Question from Bisfight, if there's any age limit for applying?
No age limit.
No, so for instance, this year I have a student who is 35, or I think, so he started working and then decided to go back to studying and specializing in finance. And he's fine, there's no age limit.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Then a question, if letters of recommendation are required, and if you value more professional or academic references?
Well, we value both. We don't require a letter of recommendation, but what we require is a letter of motivation, because we really want to make sure that you have a professional target, you know what you want to do in your future. But if you do have recommendation letter, that's fine. You can join them into in your application. So both are important.
And both professional and academic. If we look at the two aspects, any recommendation letter will be scrutinized.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then perhaps moving on to, let's say, if some of them are actually considering in applying, a good question would be if you have any accommodation facilities on campus.
Can I answer that? So Toulouse is a student city, so there are lots of places available. For foreign students coming to study in Toulouse, the University of Toulouse has also developed a series of services to help them coming to Toulouse and getting set, find an accommodation. It's called the Toolbox. And with the Toolbox, you have a set of services that help you. I think it starts from picking you up at the airport. And so it's very convenient if you don't know Toulouse and if you don't know France, to have this Toolbox to start with.
Thank you very much.
I think to say that Toulouse, the university is right in the center of the city. So you can choose if you want to live with students in campus, but you can live in the center of the city and enjoy the nightlife in the center of the city.
You just said that there was no club. That is good.
Oh, yeah, sure. One day we'll be
Already, do you have time to enjoy the city?
Of course. You have to find something. It's fun.
Thank you very much. And having said that it's in the center of Toulouse, a good question here would be, perhaps we can ask Aurélie, would be what are the average monthly costs? And perhaps we can help Julia, specifically perhaps for a family of 3. Perhaps Aurélie, you can tell us a bit, perhaps just for a single student, but then if we can help Julia, perhaps even for a family of 3. So sort of, what are the average monthly costs?
So I would say for the rent, it's more or less around 400 euros. And but knowing, yeah, for one person, knowing that you also receive sum of money from CAP, which helps you pay the rent. And
From the government.
Yes.
There's also a government specific subsidy for accommodation.
Yes. And for day-to-day, I would say expenses, more like 250 euros maybe. You could, for a month.
No, that's your budget.
Yes,
that's
my budget.
So 600 is budget.
Yeah.
Per month.
For a single person.
Yeah.
Toulouse is just quite affordable.
Yeah, it's really
France. Yeah.
Thank you very much once again.
Much higher than Europe, yeah. You can't compare them the two.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You should live in Toulouse and commute to London for weekends or much cheaper.
Thank you very much. So far, we've addressed the more broader questions, perhaps trying to include those specific ones as well. But I believe that we still have time to address a few more specific ones. Maria Paula is asking if the Master of Science in Finance, if it's the first year of a PhD, or after finishing it, do they have to apply to the Master in Philosophy at the doctorate school?
It's the first year of the PhD. Yes.
Yeah.
After that, you continue directly on the second year of the PhD program. I mean, it's different master because in France we specify the two, but we have I would say an Anglo-Saxon style of PhD program. Master of Science is the first year, and then you have 3 more years of to finish your PhD dissertation.
Thank you. And then Biswat is asking if you have any Indian students.
Do we have any Indian students this year?
Not this year, I don't think so.
So this
I
year,
have seen several Indian students in Toulouse School of Economics because I did the M1 in economics at the Toulouse School of Economics, and now I'm doing the M2 at EIE in the fire track. And I know there are several international people in Toulouse, and some of them come from India. Yeah.
So please apply.
You're like you won't be the only one.
Thank you very much. Let's see, what else do we have to address? Actually, an interesting question, if it's possible to apply for both, Nico is asking, M1 and M2, if a 240 ECTS degree is provided.
Okay, let me read again the question just to make sure I understand. You can apply to both, but you will not be able to do the 2 programs at the same time. So either you will enter the M1 or you will enter the M2. You will not be able to attend, that's the question, to attend the courses of the 2 programs in 1 year. And especially because you won't have the time to do both. If that's the correct question.
But as Catherine said before, you certainly can apply to both of them, and then you can review the application and decide what you think is the best level for you. So if you think that you need to start from the M1, you can do that. Otherwise, you can start directly at the M2. But you can certainly apply to both of them.
Okay. Perhaps we could do a recap. Christina would actually like to know how does the admission process look like? What are the stages and what to expect from an online interview? And how big of a role does the interview play in the selection process? So what are the stages of the admission process, and a bit more information about the interview, especially how big of a role it plays.
Okay, so I just showed a slide in which you have some basic information. So you can apply online from February to March 2017. You will also have to send to us a paper application because we need to have your grades and some other information, and we'll review that. In the meantime, you will do an online interview. So it's a set of prepared questions that we're going to ask online, and you will reply to the question while using your webcam. So we will see you responding to the question in order to know you better. And we will review all that, the application plus the interviews, and come to a decision with respect to application afterwards.
And when is the decision taken? Maybe that's an important information.
Yeah, it's going to be taken in June. Early June 2017. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
After the online interview, it's not a live interview face-to-face with us. You just record your answers to prepared questions, and we look at that afterwards. And what do we expect from the online interview? Well, we want to, as Nico was saying, we want to have an idea of your personality and your motivation, and also a little bit your level of English, spoken English, with the interview. But it's mostly, it's just to get to know you better. That's the point.
Thank you very much. Judith would like to know if she can apply now, but start in the year of 2018.
So apply now for and during the master in 2018.
Exactly.
No, you have to wait for March 2018 to apply for the next year. If that was a question, I'm not sure.
I believe that was the question. Yes, I believe that Judith is planning on applying for next year's intake, but is wondering if she can apply now.
Yes. That's right. She
We have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of applying, Maria just asked if your final decision will be communicated by the early June.
Yes.
Okay, and then a question from Nicholas, a bit more specific. If you think that for a M1 CCA student, is it possible to join the M2 corporate finance? If yes, have you any advice on this possibility? And are there any courses to follow during the summer to fit the program of the M1 finance?
That's a question for me. So CPA is comptabilité, contrôle, audit, or counting, control, and for our English-speaking participants. Yes, you can do that. As already said, you will be much stronger in the financial reporting and accounting classes. Maybe you will be less strong in the asset pricing classes or more quantitative econometrics classes. But the good thing is that you will be able to work in groups, and you will teach the others the many things you know in accounting, and they will teach you the many things they know in the other quantitative methods. So we have students with a background in accounting who choose to attend the corporate finance program. And if you're accepted and you want to get prepared for the second year, I'll be very happy to give you a list of lectures.
Thank you once. Then perhaps another specific question. We do have time to address a few more. Camilo would like to know that he studied international business for 5 years in Colombia with courses in finance, maths, and accounting. Can he apply directly to M2?
Yes.
Good news then.
How many years?
5 years.
5 years, yeah. And then Nirao is asking if you also offer PhD, and can he do a PhD along with his current course?
So what is it?
Along?
Along with his current course, but I don't quite remember which course that was. So the first question would be if there are any PhDs offered by IAE Toulouse.
Sure.
So that's the Master of Science in Finance, which is the first year of the PhD program. And then if you choose this track, you will continue your PhD afterwards. Yes.
Another question from Christina. If you accept students on a rolling basis?
No, we accept it only, the application are just from the end of February to the end of March, and then we take the decision in June. That's the timing.
Thank you very much. I hope you guys won't mind answering another question regarding the GMAT coming in from Hang, saying if it's possible for the GMAT requirements to be waived, as he has 1.5 year working. He's been working for 1.5 years as a financial analyst, and he has passed the level 2 in the CFA program. So his question is if the CFA program level 2 waives the GMAT requirement.
Of course.
Probably. Like it's highly likely.
Thank you very much. I'm just checking to make sure we covered all of the questions one way or another, perhaps not addressing it by your name, but we've sort of packaged it in the eligibility, because I saw a lot of questions regarding eligibility for M1 and M2 without the appropriate background, but it seems we actually have covered all of the questions currently submitted, meaning that it is then time to wrap up the session. Allow me to see, something just came in. We do have 2 more questions that we would like to address. Let's see. Maria is asking if she can apply directly for the Master in Science if she doesn't have the GMAT, but she has the FRM program complete, level 2.
Yes, she could apply. So for sure, she could do that.
And also a good question from Nico, actually. Can the English language test be waived when the non-native has a degree from an Irish university?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Just allow me to give perhaps a minute or 2 more if some of you are in the process of submitting your question, and I'll give you some time by checking on the progress of the poll we have running in the background. So I see that not all of you have started it. You can find it in the polling panel, should be beneath chat and beneath Q&A to the right side. To quite a lot of you that have already finished it, thank you very much for doing so. But to the 4 in progress, do make sure to click on the submit button once you've done answering those questions, otherwise your effort will be lost. So it is essential to click on the submit button within the polling. Now allow me just to check if I have anything more through the chat panel. No, seems we actually have addressed all of the questions today. Therefore, it is time to wrap up the session. Allow me to thank the audience members firstly. I sure hope that this session was informative. Even moreover, I sure hope that some of you are actually already considering applying and will end up applying. And of course, a very special thank you to the lovely panel of 4, to Christophe, Catherine, Milo, and Aurélie for sharing your expertise. And at this point, I would like to ask you for perhaps any last-minute closing comments you might have.
Well, the last comment is that we hope to see you soon in Toulouse, because we would really enjoy having students from everywhere. That's the rule of the game. It's an international master, so welcome to Toulouse and please apply.
Aurélie, maybe a last word from a student?
Yeah, you will feel welcome in Toulouse. I've been here for 5 years and I don't want to leave, so come join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, this time to all of the participants. And this is Simon signing off by wishing you perhaps a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening from wherever you may be. Thank you once again for joining, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, Simon.